Hey, welcome back to my show. I'm having fun with this mic. Okay. Well, today I thought I would talk about some writing techniques. It's always good to learn new and different ways to do things, right? Right. So, yeah. I'm going to go through 5 techniques that writers can try. One of them, the first one that I've found that works really well for me, it's called the Pomodoro Technique. It really works better for me with my regular writing, not freelance writing per se, but not my fiction writing, but my freelance writing. In other words, Pomodoro works well to get me to write. So that's one technique. And if you haven't heard of Pomodoro, it's where you set a clock, a timer. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato. So I don't know, depends on how old you are, but it used to be, and they may still sell them, I don't know, used to be able to get a kitchen timer, egg timer is what they call it, in the shape of a tomato. So that's where they come up with Pomodoro. But anyway, it's a technique to boost your productivity. You write for 25 minutes. This is the typical one. You can change it to 25 minutes and then 5 minutes break. And then you do that, it's a short break. Do that twice. And then the third time you take a longer break, about 15, 25 minutes, something like that. And off and on, off and on. So you can change those times, whatever works for you. And if I'm in a mood where I just don't feel like writing, whatever I'm writing, and that doesn't really happen with my fiction, but with my nonfiction. Sometimes I'm just not really into the subject matter, but it's something that a client's paying me to do, so I gotta do it. So Pomodoro, and I'll set the clock, little timer, and go to town, free write, whatever, which is going to be another tool to use for writing. But anyway, the first one, like I said, is Pomodoro. Okay, and the next one after that is free writing. Okay, free writing is fun. It's enjoyable. All you have to do is just start writing. Usually you're typing. So you just say whatever you're thinking about. If you've heard of stream of consciousness, that just basically means whatever you comes in your mind, you just write it. So that's a good way if you're feeling blocked to get the writing flowing again, is to just write. Even if it's nothing about I hate doing this, I can't think of this, yada yada yada. Just write what you're feeling, whatever, and after a while, you will realize that, hey, I did it. I got into it. So, next one is dictation. And this one I've recently found, after all these years, really works well for me. It's actually kind of fun. Google Chrome, well, if you use a Google Chrome browser and you use Google Docs, you can use their speech, what do they call it? Speech to text, I think is what they call it, where you just talk. So you say it out loud. So what I'll do is, if it's something I have to write, I will, obviously it's something I have to write, I'm sitting there doing it. But what I mean is, if I'm not really sure of the topic, or I've only got a certain level of understanding of it because it's not something I normally write about, I'll read through and research as much as I can, 2 or 3 articles, and get a good overview. And then what I will do is, I'll have on one computer, I'll have a screen pulled up with the content that I've read through already. And then over in the other computer, I will write, well, actually, I will speak what my understanding is, rephrase and fill in more info, my thoughts and whatnot on the topic, and get that in there. And so that works really well, dictation. So following up Pomodoro, free writing, and dictation. So the next one, and when you're doing that, as far as the speaking, I always like to give it a little time between the editing, so kind of gels it in there, for want of a more technical term. And I do that even when I'm just writing, not necessarily speaking into the computer for it to write. When I'm just writing myself, let a day go, or even just an hour or whatever between the time you write it and the edit, and you'd be surprised at how much faster you'll do it and how much easier it is. So, and if you don't like Chrome or you don't have it, there's other speech dictation software out there, a bunch. And another one is to write out of order. What I mean is, if you can't think of a good beginning on your topic or your story, you write the ending, or write the beginning, or write the middle, or write your favorite scene, whatever's come to mind. And that really works well. And then finally, writing. Now this is a let's see. I would say it's controversial, and it may not work for everybody. I haven't tried this yet. I kind of do it because I write into the dark. But one thing that some people say you can do is to write and revise at the same time. So what I mean by that is you go through, they call it cycling, some people call it. You go through, and this works whether you're doing plotting or whether you're doing by the seat of your pants, so to speak, or without a plot. You just write until you kind of get to a stopping point, and then you go back in your manuscript, read through what you've put in there, 500 to 1,000 words, whatever it is, to the next, what you've just written. You go back up, read through, fix, add, whatever you have to do, cut out, and then keep pushing forward another 5,000 words, whatever it is, 500 words to 1,000 words, or whatever your normal writing number is. Everybody has a certain number that they kind of get stuck. So go back and edit, add what you need to add, revise. If you're plotting per se and you've gone off your plot, well, you can take time to fix it right there, or add ideas to your plot to fit the way the story's going, since it's changed. So that one works, I think, would be very well for even plotters. I've never really thought about it before, but I know when it comes to writing without an outline, that's the only way I can do it, because that's how I get back to what I was thinking. I'll go back 500 words or however many words until I pick up on a line. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to add this. So you go back in and you add this. Or I don't really want to add this, I'll cut it out. And if it's a lot of text, what I'll cut out is I'll have a separate file where I'll keep that, and that might be something useful later. It just depends. So I hope these helped. I will make a list of them in the description, so to help, handy reference, because I'm a visual person more than an auditory person, so I like having things written down. So I'm sure there's others out there like me. If you haven't already, please click to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let me know if you try any of these or if you do any of these and how well it works for you, and any other additional tips and tricks that you have for getting the story onto the page. So until next time, take care. And what I always say every time I sign off is writers write. So get out there and write. Talk to you later.